this is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day, race against the clock at a hill climb, or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the Fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan De Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. It's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan De Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cuttajar's got past, so Dylan.
Light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan De Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the Fishies, any of the Piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're
this
off.
first lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's.
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. He's up the Dodds, just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a massive night of racing here on SRW TV. We are back after our afternoon of racing with the Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. We're here for the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am. We saw what the Supercars could do on Tuesday night with the Pro-Ams and the Amateurs, and now it's time for the big boys and girls turn here at Phillip Island. I'm joined once again by Steven Sinkovic, my cohort here tonight for the broadcast. Steve, how excited are you, mate, to see these pros have a crack around this track?
Oh, mate, if it's anything like it was on Tuesday night that we had going on, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be all down to strategies and see who's saving what fuel and everything like that. But I'm really keen to see all these pros and pro-ams really take it up a notch from Tuesday night's effort. I actually, give you a sneak peek, went on track for the first time in a V8 in about 9 months and had a spin with Tyson and his team at Phillip Island and actually enjoyed it. Absolute blast. So these boys have got a few challenges ahead of them, and it's going to be epic to see how they handle them.
I mean, it is widely, kind of fantasized about, not really fantasized, spoken about, that the supercar, probably the hardest car to drive on the iRacing service. It is such a raw machine, raw power, raw braking ability and raw handling that it is an absolute handful and a wrestle to get around a track. And this circuit, of course, offers its own challenges. A lot of fast, high-flowing corners, plus also the hard braking zones that we know well throughout a lot of racing categories throughout the world at other different circuits. But this one has a piece of everything. Formerly a street circuit, then became a permanent race course. This track is an absolute beautiful piece of racing history and racing engineering as well. It is one of my favorites in the entire world, not just Australia, the entire world. It has a bit of everything and it is absolutely phenomenal, and supercars around it are a match made in heaven.
100%, it's got to be one of the most picturesque tracks in the world. I mean, when you come to ocean scenery and stuff like that, okay, Monaco's got all its glitz and glamour, but this track here has got its challenges left, right and centre. That the second and third left-hander. I mean, you've got options of cutting it in, tied up the apex, or taking a faster line across the outside. There's just so many different ways of taking different corners. You see people coming down. Which one's the one that comes down a hill to the right hand? Is that Little Honda? No, it's changed name. That's Miller now, isn't it?
Yeah. So we come through one, then up through turn 2, in through Stoner, which is turn 3, and then at the hard braking right-hander at Honda. Very, very challenging corner. We already saw it catch out a couple of drivers on Tuesday night. We even saw turn 5 Siberia catch a couple of people out, and also at the top of the hill at MG, down before the big downhill drop is what I like to call the roller coaster section of this track. We saw a big pile up with a couple of the drivers. Hopefully we don't see that tonight, but it'll be fun to watch if it does happen, Steve.
Oh, look, it's going to be fun no matter what. I think these boys are going to really put a massive show on for us. It's no matter what happens, it's going to be spectacular. And I'm looking forward to it, mate. It's Tuesday night. We saw, me and you were both on comms for the night. We saw it came down to a pit strategy, and it was one of the Fishy boys, Mr. Whitaker, that just got it wrong and had to pit that little extra bit at the very end, and it cost him a podium position. And it was a nice tight battle all the way through. A bit of strategy by M1 boys, and then past champion like Darren Crosby got into the wars a little bit and had to battle his way up all the way to 6th. I think he got to the end. So there was action afoot everywhere. Clutterbuck came back after his around Australia trip and put Team TMX on the podium again and showed that he's got a bit of class about him and took it out by a fair few seconds, actually, the top step, didn't he?
He did, mate, but one thing we probably need to speak about is the 2 late entries into this race and this series here tonight. James Scott and Dylan Rudd. Could it become the Ryko show here in the Supercars Pro-Am? Those boys are known for dominating other supercars competitors on the track. I've seen it happen firsthand in East Coast and in other race series as well, and those boys are going to be dangerous competitors when it comes to that championship order at the end of the season. They're going to be ones that we're going to keep an eye on, as well as Darren Lobb, even Jacob O'Reilly, David Kirby as well. Even maybe a few little sneaky surprises out there, you know, maybe a Connor Nixon or an Andrew Dyson or something like that. Could sneak a win here or there depending on the right conditions, but it's going to be very, very interesting. We've got a good spread of drivers throughout the whole field, and it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to take home the chocolates here tonight.
Well, yeah, not only the chocolates, mate, but the bragging rights. I mean, you have a look at some of these names here, and have a look at the Logitech series names, and we're starting to see a lot more of those boys coming across to SRW to get their weekly racing in and compete against some of the fast guys around the country. So I'm proud as punch being one of the owners and seeing what's going on. It's spectacular. Boys, one name that's really missing out there, which is hard for me not to see. That's Mr. Jamie Dyke. He's probably going to sit out this season and work hard as he's been doing, and hopefully we'll see him back for the next season. But I tell you what, the rest of the Fishy boys, Ty Delaney's lifted up a few notches in the off season, so it's going to be interesting to see how his progression is going to be going.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And you know, it's going to be interesting to see who's really going to take advantage of being in that new class now if they have changed class. You mentioned Ty Delaney, the young fella. We saw him have a strong run this afternoon in the 8.6s from Thursday night. He did very, very well for one of his first outings actually in that sort of racing, which is really, really good to see. So, you know, I'm hesitant on making a prediction for this race because it could go anywhere. The easy answer would be, you know, James Scott or Dylan Rudd, but we cannot deny how strong the whole field actually is and how close this racing could be here all throughout the grid.
It's mate, it's going to be tight. We saw it on Tuesday night. There was you know, top 8 or 9. There was only about a couple of tenths in it all the way through. The boys had a bit of a chain going on. Then we had the AMs, the same sort of thing. We had 8 or 9 cars in the AMs following each other as well, which was spectacular. So it's, oh mate, I don't even want to predict tonight. There's just too many new faces in on track, and don't forget, new faces. It takes a while for some of these guys to get used to each other, and working out who can do what and who's going to let this door open, who's going to let that door open. So the boys are going to get used to each other as well. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at the entry list. There is a heap of people that I recognise from my history of commentating from other leagues, and I think we're gonna really see who can get an advantage at the rest of the season here tonight. You know, Phillip Island is one of those circuits that produces not only some great racing, but it gives you a good glimpse of who is the strongest in the field because it has got a little bit of everything about it. And I think, you know, we mentioned the strategy play. We're going to see who's got good strategy play here tonight based on what the fuel numbers might be for certain drivers or when they pit. And I think it's all really going to come ahead and give us an absolutely spectacular display of racecraft, strategy, and raw speed as well.
Yeah. Look, you've got, I'm looking at the names you just mentioned. I'm like, whoa. And there's some names here that, I mean, Dylan Rudd raced with us in the early days in the FRL. I think he raced in the Porsche series with us at one point. You've got a big story is our race director tonight is not working. He is behind the wheel of a car. So he hasn't been in the V8 now for, I think, over 12 months, well over 12 months. So since he started working with us at SRW. So it's going to be interesting how Tyson goes. Kyle Zink's back in the V8 as well. We seen him come back after a few seasons away. Previous Porsche champion. Ash Davis, another one that's come back. Good to see Ash back. He was back with us in the early days of FRL, another past champion too. So we've got the champions coming back, and we've got some champions from across the ditch. Connor Nixon just hot off winning the NZ series over there before Christmas. So, mate, I don't even know where to look, mate. We're going to be bouncing from top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, trying to see where all the action is all night. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I think, you know, Phillip Island, it really offers up some great battling opportunities. We saw a heap of battles throughout the whole field on Tuesday night, and I think tonight we're going to see even more because the times are going to be even closer. The abilities are going to be even closer, being that it is a pro to pro-am jump instead of a pro to am jump as it used to be in previous seasons, as Andrew Dyson has now actually gone to the top of the timing table, time of 1 minute 27.752. And I know what you're going to say, Steve. I tried to fix the font. I ran out of time, I'm going to be honest. So that will be fixed for next week. Don't you worry about that. I looked, and I'm like, I just cannot find it right now. This will be an issue for later. But at least we have the best lap times. They at least show up when they're on the side of the screen as the proper font. So, but yeah. So I mean, there's all moving parts. Start of the season. There's always going to be a couple little niggles, couple little mistakes here or there, and it's a little you get that little bit of breathing room at the start. To get it all ready to go for the rest of the season. As Jacob O'Reilly currently sits P3 in the session, time of 1 minute 27.9. He's done very well so far. About 2/10 off the car ahead of him in Andrew Dyson, and Darren Lobb, the South African, just really dominating from the start here. A 27.6 from him out of P1.
Yeah, look, it's mate, I'm just looking at I know there's people still trying to get in. There's people just connecting as well that are still coming in. And we've still got 15 guys that haven't accepted their invitation yet. So it's crazy. And we already have on track
30 cars. 30 cars have set a lap time.
Yeah, 36 guys in the session. So it's going to be epic. I'm tipping by next week we'll probably have the full grid, and it's going to be even crazier than what it is tonight. Yeah, people have a look at our new layouts and everything like that. We're just trying to get things a bit more funky, a bit more newer. A few team members that are joining back to us as well. We'll just touch base on that. We've got Toddy Thornburn back for us. The crazy he's there at Curtis Stone of New Zealand. He's back with us as a producer, and Brendan Walton's going to be joining us back as well from New Zealand too. So we're going to have a few more Kiwis in the broadcast side of things again. And a really big announcement is that we have got JP from JP Broadcasting in the UK that's joining us as one of our broadcasters as well. So we're getting some international flavour, and he'll be doing one or two of the shows a week as well. So people, I could strongly suggest book, like, subscribe, click the bell. Don't miss any of the races that are coming out because the grids are full. Everyone is primed and ready to have some amazing fun. We've even got Let's Go Gretz from the Netherlands, Dave Ferron. So we've got people from all over the world watching, which is just crazy. Loving it.
Yeah, I mean, we got a real international flavour now, as you mentioned. I mean, could even open up the possibilities of offering, European or US series, having that international producer with us now. It's really going to open up eyes around the world for us. Really going to open up opportunities, as you mentioned, for us to be able to go racing, even at different times, for a better time slot for themselves. Maybe not a better time slot for the Australian drivers, but at least give the Europeans and the people in the US an opportunity to drive with us as well. And I think it's all going to be for the benefit. When I spoke to Sheafy today during the 8-6 broadcast, I mentioned, hey, it's actually quite fun broadcasting late on the afternoon on the Sunday. Might be pretty cool to get I know we spoke about possibly getting a broadcast happening at that point as well. So there could be many more opportunities for the series and for the league to grow and to offer some different time slots for people to drive in, depending on when you're available and depending on where you're from. And that's what we're all about. We're all about being able to grow the league and go racing together and have some fun, clean racing on offer for anyone, no matter if you're in Australia, New Zealand, or around the world.
No, exactly. We are expanding and doing our little bit, expanding the world of sim racing. Another note for you guys out there, you notice that there's no Thomas Freeman racing for the Fishy Boys tonight. Well, you'll still see his name pop up. He'll be driving the safety car for SRW this season. He's decided to take the season off from racing, and he's going to be driving the safety car for our Sunday night session. So welcome to the team, Thomas Freeman. I'm sure Mum and Dad are probably still out there watching and cheering you on. Hopefully you won't spin the safety car like our race director Tyson has done in the past.
I'll give you some inside baseball. I was talking to Greg in the race control chat prior to the race, and Tom rocked up, and then he's like, so glad I made it on time. I did the Sebring 6 hour today, had a nap, and then Dad woke me up and he's like, "You gonna go drive the safety car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay. I guess I forgot I am." And so he rocks up like just before race starts. So he at least managed to make it in tonight. Didn't miss his first outing in the safety car as we are checking out what would be the regular race controller for us. Tyson McAvoy cutting some laps in that PSR machine qualifying. Got about 6 minutes left, Steve, and currently it's Darren Lobb on pole.
Yeah, and thanks to Peter Freeman for waking Thomas up. Look, the boys are just cheering up. My prediction for tonight is Darren Lobb. I'm predicting a clean race from him. Get out early and take control of the race. That's my spot. So we're looking at top 10 at the moment. Darren Lobb the 127.6, Dyson the 127.7, Jones 127.9, O'Reilly 127.9, Nixon 127.9, Kirby 128.2. So the times are very, very close. Doddsy, we're expecting a big turnaround this season for Doddsy, 128.2. Josh Horton sitting in the 128.3s. Cifuentes 128.3s as well, and the legend himself, Mr. Bruce Tannock, he cuts out our 10s with the 128.5, and a few boys are just sitting there below it, very, very close. Mate, the laps are going to be so tight. This is going to be some mad racing. How many safety cars are you predicting, mate?
Oh, I mean, it's a bit hard. It's hard to make that kind of prediction around Phillip Island. Phillip Island depends on your racing, right? And it depends on who you've got out there. It can either lend itself well to safety cars or it can lend itself well to clean racing. To make the bold prediction, I think, it's a long race. I reckon we could maybe see 2 safety cars out there. I think you could almost say we're guaranteed 1, but I'm going to say 2 as Tannock loses it out. Oh, and just absolutely launches the car out at Siberia. He has ended up in Ukraine. He jumped that far.
Jeez, I hope he's not using VR, because that can spin you out a bit in the VR. That was some great air, and I love the chrome lid on that car. It come up real cool.
David Commons and Chaz was saying no safety cars that don't get called from past history. We also have Sam Catacasinos back in the chat. He was in here for the V8 chat as well. Chris Degoe in there too. He's been absolutely killing it in the Vet Split 3 Championship. He currently leads that championship as well, and he's here to support those PSR boys too, and the likes of McAvoy, Cowie, and others alike. I tell you what though, one person I'm going to keep an eye out for, and he's someone that is heavily on my radar throughout all of the V8 Supercars running, is Troy Stonestreet, mate. This guy has had an absolutely ballistic rise up to the top of the ranks in multiple different series. Came into Vets 2 seasons ago, was in Split 3 for season 16, got automatically promoted to Split 1. First time that's ever happened for someone to win Split 3, and instead of going into Split 2, which would be the normal process, goes all the way up into Split 1. He has been absolutely killing it week after week, season after season, and he's now becoming a true contender in that series, and do not be surprised if you see him slowly rise, bring his game up to the level and is running for wins in a couple, maybe by the end of the season or even in a season's time.
Cool. Let me know, can you split the top 10 during qualifying into Pro and Pro-Am?
I can do this. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's have a look and see how they are.
I'll show you how we do this. Ready? So we go route, and then we go where they are in their class.
Okay, cool. So we've got, at the moment, people in our Pro-Ams. Mr. Cifuentes is sitting in first place. Travis Daly in third. Davis in third, Hodgkinson fourth. Cowan's coming back. I'm expecting big improvements from Cowan this season. Mr. Crum, Zeke, Vander, and Tomlin. So some new and some regular names in there as well. And the front of the grid still hasn't changed. We've got 2.5 minutes left to go, with Lobby still sitting at the top. Let's see who is on a hot lap out there that could make some changes and get themselves into the top 10.
Will Buchanan's currently on a green sector, although he did go orange in the first. We'll see what happens though when he does cross the line. Doesn't look like it's going to be an absolute barn burner. They could be setting him up here for a good lap coming on here with only 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the session. Funnily enough, David Coleman, Dylan Rudd, James Scott yet to set a lap time here in qualifying. So perhaps they are being unable to set a time just yet, or maybe they're being penalised or something. I'm not 100% sure.
But they are yet to penalties come up yet. We'll also get penalties coming up on the screen, just above where Jace Douglas' name is right now. it'll come up under the tower there. So any penalties that drivers receive will come up automatically on screen. You'll also see on the far right-hand side, a little window pops up occasionally when someone is speaking to someone. I have got my earpiece in so I can hear what's going on the track as well. So we'll try to keep you updated as much as possible as we go. Maybe a bit of housekeeping, Hamish. Really got to thank Warren and Brown for stepping up and really taking the lead in SRW this season. They are the round name sponsor, the naming rights sponsor for our V8 Supercars on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also in our IMSA series on Friday nights. Thank you to DSL Rail Services, Neuro Power, who are back on board, Grib Industries, Shannon's, who have been looking after us as well with the Formula 3 and our GR86 series. On top of that, we have Motorsport Australia, who are now, we are official providers of the official GR86 series and Formula V series, which starts on Monday night. Still some places left, so get in there and register and get in part of the fun. There's 22 drivers registered at this point. It's a new series, so we didn't expect it to jump up to crazy numbers. We will be on the back of that and making sure it grows. Shunts is a new sponsor as well that's on there as well, which is a business that does digital 3D imaging for what do you call it?
Scenery,
flight simulators and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's actually owned, and one of the partners in that business is by Greg Barber, our race director for tonight. So yeah, that's a bit of housework there for you. If anyone else wants to join our family, we've got a couple of people we're speaking to at the moment. Fingers crossed, some big names will come across. But yeah, we'd love to have some more people on board and yeah, come on the journey.
Well, this is now the end of qualifying. Anyone who crosses the line, this will be the end of their attempts. Dyson brings it into the pits. He's not able to better his time as the other drivers just pull the cars up. Does McAvoy have it in him to go any better this time by? We will find out if he comes across the line, but that rear end of that car is real loose, and I don't think that's going to be a quality lap as Van Loon comes around up towards the final corner. Can he better his time here in qualifying and better where he is sitting currently? He's in P17 at the moment, is the Rattler. Can he get a better lap time out of that car or not? As the Cube machine comes over the line, does not go any better, so he will start P17.
Is that a new team for Scotty Rattler?
So it's in association with Pecky's, but he's more like a privateer kind of partner, I guess you could say. So he actually works for Cube, so that's why he's now got them on board, as they are based. He's based out in Perth, but they're actually based over here on the East Coast. So he's having to get up at like 3, 4 in the morning just to go to work, whilst everyone in Melbourne and stuff like that's getting up at a reasonable hour and actually getting to work on a reasonable time. He's a privateer now. Thank you, David. So he's actually a privateer now, but I believe he is still in contact with Pecky's, but he's not officially a part of their team anymore.
Yeah. Mr. Coleman's, he had on track tonight? Didn't see his name pop up at all.
He has signed up. He's not set a qualifying lap. So maybe David could let us know in the chat why he hasn't actually been able to set a qualifying lap just yet, or not. Maybe he's not feeling it here tonight. Who knows?
This is one of his favourite tracks. Interesting. Mr. McAvoy said he was quite happy to come in and have a bit of a chin wag with us, but I haven't seen his name in Discord pop up, so we won't do that just yet. Based on what we saw on Tuesday night, we're looking at about lap 13 to 12, somewhere around there, for the pit strategies. So it's going to be interesting to see what a safety car will do to those strategies, and also what some saving fuel will do for those strategies, because we've got some people in this grid that are absolute weapons at fuel saving. You know, you've got your I'm just trying to see if Mr. Delaney's in the room as well.
Oh, I need to reload the overlays, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the fonts have decided to have a bit of a hissy fit. So please allow me to just quickly reload it here. Oh, it's just fixed itself.
Just
actually.
looking at
We'll quickly bring up our results while you talk about this from the qualifying session. So we got the pros up here. We'll give everyone a minute just to go through them while we chat about this sort of stuff.
We're missing Mr. Senior Delaney tonight. Where's he at, Coleman? He's in Vegas.
Oh, I'm about to say, must be his birthday.
Vegas, baby. Oh, been there. Crazy times in Vegas. Lucky man. But the grid is looking huge. Have a look at some of the names that are on there, and
this is just the
working
pros.
in Vegas.
This isn't even the Pro-Ams. This is just the pros that are up on screen.
Well,
Let's get
we've
the Pro-Ams
got
up too.
we have got 32 registered pros, and we've got 18 registered Pro-Ams.
So we got about half the Pro-Ams in here tonight, and nearly all of the pros. So which is good
correct.
to see.
Yeah. So apparently he's doing a work thing, hanging with Scotty McLaughlin. Oh, good on him.
Oh, where's our invite?
Maybe you can ask him if he wants to race at SRW.
Maybe he can race in the first American series that we run, since he'll have the better time slot.
Yeah. Well, what time are we doing this race? This is a morning race. Cars are gridding up at the moment. What's that track temp, mate? Let's show the viewers what the drivers are contending with for this race.
So this is our current weather settings at the moment. So it's looking like track temps of about 22 degrees. So a nice cool session. Watch out for those times to be super quick, super pacey. The track will get hotter throughout the proceedings of this race. And we could see some tyre wear, tyre degradation really come into play late in this one. But we'll quickly bring up our starting grid for tonight's race and we'll quickly run through it. So Darren Lobb will start at a pole position here tonight, just ahead of Andrew Dyson at a P2. That'll be our front row of the grid for the night. Cameron Jones will start at a P3 for 9.5 Sim Sports, just ahead of Jacob O'Reilly in P4. Connor Nixon will then start at a P5 for Vermilion Motorsports, ahead of Fishy Motorsport owner Michael Whiting in P6, with his teammate David Kirby in behind in P7. Harry Dodds will then start at a P8 here tonight for Frog Leap Juice Racing, ahead of Josh Houghton in P9, with Gerard Safuente starting at a P10 for PSR here tonight, and P1 for the Pro-Ams. Bruce Tannick will then start at a P11 ahead of PSR's Tyson McAvoy at a P12, with P13 going to Brad Dobble from Team Go Slow Racing. Ryan Jones then starts at a P14 here tonight, ahead of a Fishy double for P15 and 16 in Chris Funky Miller and Ty Delaney, the young gun, starting at a P16. Jamie Davis then started at P17 and behind, with Travis Daly starting at a P2 for the class, P18 overall for Midline Sim Racing. Scotty Van Loon then starts at a Cube Ports Racing for P19, with Ash Davis starting at a P20. How does the rest of the field look? But they are gridding up anyway, so we're going to have to get ready to go racing here, unfortunately, Steve, as we're going green already. And Lobb gets a great start off the line in comparison to Mr. Dyson, who is dropping a heap of spots down towards turn one. Who's going to get the run here? How do they look coming on through? Nice and clean so far, it seems. No one running off wide. And this is what we'd like to see here as they enter into turn number two. The big old double apex really tightens up halfway around the corner. Want to get on the gas as soon as you can see the straight line ahead. As we come up towards Stoner, Lobb leads the way still. Nice gap he's got here in behind to Jones in P2. Under brakes, a hard braking zone for them as we come on through Miller. And I tell you what, they are looking nice and tidy at the moment as there's been a crash. I spoke way too soon.
Alex had a bit of a spin. He's come together with someone. We'll keep going with these guys at the front. Catch up a bit later, see what happened. But the car 1, 2, 3 has just called that in, Bruce Tannock, so he might have been a bit of love. That Miller's corner is a great place for dive in under brakes and trying to get in and under the driver. But the respect is out there straight away. These guys have gone to single file in the first three corners pretty much straight away, knowing how tight and how risky it is to pass here, and you've got to pick your positions. Who was that?
That was Dyson.
That second car.
That was Dyson on the inside there. He's managed to get his way back up to P3, just past O'Reilly. But he is dealing with
already.
He's dealing with a big old Vermilion tag team in behind him with O'Reilly and Nixon. Wants to try and get the run down the straight. Look at this side by side, Steve. Could they go too wide through turn one? 2 into 1 doesn't always work, but they could make this work if they have to wrestle it through.
They can pretty much take this all the way through this double left-hander now if they wanted to, but the car on the outside's always going to be in that dangerous spot because the way the road banks, it's an easy place to fly off. Let me tell you that from experience.
I know from experience too. You try to go for that outside line, it only takes for a mishap for you to end up in the sand pit. You see Nixon wants it up the inside once again, looks to get it done, gives a bit of a balking to O'Reilly. They all bunch up in behind, they get through clean, Well, that could have been so much
But
worse.
he really made it through.
O'Reilly's
There's
not
a bit of a
happy.
gap there. I'm not used to these vermilion colours at the moment. Looks like a bit of a clash of colours everywhere, but they're a bit of flashing lights there, getting the boys to get a bit of a giddy up.
Yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy with the move from Dyson. But there's not much he can do about it. They just got to keep on running as they come up the hill up towards MG. Dyson covers the
These engines
inside.
down as they come down this hill, and you hear them gearing down, the splutter of the V8 as it comes down to that tight right-hander. The boys have really got to get, it's a tricky little left-hander this one, because it's like straightens up a little bit and curves a little bit, and you've got to put the foot down, and also just, quick gear up there just to stop it from sliding out.
It is such a tough corner to get right. It is the second to last. As you mentioned, you just got to do that quick little upshift just to keep it nice and tidy.
And the tow across this section here of the track is immense. So if you're right at the back of a car and then you get yourself right up into this area here, you've got the ability of diving on the inside, attacking on the outside. Whiting is putting a lot of pressure there on the back of the Vermilion drivers, and Lobby's getting a bit of pressure now as well by Cameron Jones.
Jonesy wants to get this done. I don't know if he's quite close enough just yet. Really early on in the race as well. He doesn't want to have to, try and end his or Lob's race early. He'll be patient about this one, and he should wait for the correct opportunity to go for the move when it is available to him. You can see this just right up on the back of Lob as they come through Siberia and make their way up to Hayshed. Such a fast section of track, Steve. I mean, you are just clicking all the way up the gears, as you can hear the car doing as they come up the hill, and then hard on the brakes. Want to try and get it down to about 4th or 3rd gear just to get it turned in, and you'll feel the car get light as you come up over the hill. That's when you want to get on the brakes. As soon as you see the crest of the hill, you want to get that car stopped up for the real tight 1st or 2nd gear, depending on your entry right-hander. This section, real tough. You can see Lob just catching the car. Really had to be careful there with the throttle control. Very, very slippery section of track. We could see some mistakes happen for pit entries if they cannot get that exit of that corner right.
It's going to be epic now. He's got a bit, Jones got a lot of right up the back of him here, so he's going to put some pressure, immense pressure on here. Let's see what he can do on the inside or outside of this corner. Maybe it'll be Miller's corner where he takes the late braking and puts some pressure on there.
Yes, Reece, I do believe Cam is a former Century Motorsports driver before they dissolved. I'm pretty sure he was,
Yeah, he was. Here's a go here. He's right up the back of him. Will he stick the nose in? No, he's going to play it safe and just keep the pressure on. He's right up the back of him there, showing him a lot of mirror action for Lobby. Lobby's going to have that full bonnet in his mirrors.
He'll be really filling up that rear window panel of the Mustang, as we mentioned. Ash Davis has already come into the pits, by the way, and done a stop. No, it wasn't, sorry, Ash Davis. I thought I saw someone dropping down the order. Maybe it wasn't, unless it was just a drive-through. But he is down 2 spots, though, but that's who I was looking for in the end. But Gerard Safuentes currently leads the way from Pro-Ams. He's up to P9 already, so he's already up a spot. So he's doing well here. Just kind of pick his way through the field and just try and stay consistent, as I mentioned. Got the young fella Ty Delaney behind him. He's also got his teammate Tyson McAvoy just to help give him some assistance here against Ty in that little PSR sandwich that's currently starting to form at the bottom of the team.
Do me a favour, mate. Let's just see where Mr. McAvoy is at the moment. He's sitting in 11th. Just predicted what I was going to say, didn't you, mate?
I did.
Just want to see how Tyson's handling the traffic at the moment and see how he's coping out there, being that he's been out of the V8 now for a good solid 12 months. I know how daunting your first race can be back, no matter how fast you are and how experienced you are as a driver. He seems to settle himself in a good pace. He's following Ty Delaney now and just making sure. I guess the boys out there at the moment, with the size of this field and the immense close timing, it's not just about tonight, it's about the whole season. You can go through this whole season and not get a first place and still win the title. So you've got to be up there consistently in the top 5 to make sure that you're rubbing shoulders with the boys and getting yourself positioned for a trophy. Oh,
Callan
we've got a spinner there.
It
looks like Hodgkinson's done a bit of a turn.
He has.
And he's got himself back on track.
Let me check out how he's done it here inside of Miller. So you see he's gone for the move. Oh, there's been a little bit of contact, and that's what's taking him around. Vanderkran's helped him the rest of the way. And then done well there just to hold position, actually.
Is that LMR, and former LMR, what they call themselves now?
That one?
I've forgotten what their name is now.
What do you mean, Angry Birds Racing?
No. Jason Douglas's team. What are they called now?
Oh, here he is up there.
Where is Jason Douglas?
There he is there. P25 at the moment.
There he is.
One
P25,
I also found who I was looking for. It's Andrew Dyson. He had a drive-through.
Oh, okay.
So he's at the back of the field at the moment. McAvoy is into the lane. So could this be a scheduled pit stop or could it just be a drive-through? It looks like it's a drive-through. It is indeed. So McAvoy's done something a bit naughty. And well, his fellow race controller is showing LMR Esports. Yeah.
My brain was. I'm still kicking in. You know what's putting me off? The changing some of these liveries is going to take a week or so to get used to because they're changing up. The LMR hasn't changed, but it's just my brain.
Well, I'll tell you what, a nice change
under brakes.
Just up ahead, we can see it. It was Crummy and Van Loon. I'll tell you what, Luke Crum, most famous man in the GR86 field. I'll give you that as a freebie. He has his own fan club as well called the Crum Dog Millionaires. At the 12 hour a couple of years ago, they yelled at him from the corporate box on top of one of the pit bays. So he's a very famous man in that field and a very famous man amongst his mates as well. But what I was going to talk about, we're talking about liveries just quickly. The new Angry Birds Racing livery, Chef's Kiss. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. Big upgrade from their last livery, in my opinion. And I think it just looks absolutely tough having that black base or grey base with the red and yellow accents on it.
Yeah. It looks like it's been done before. Oh, he's going to the pits as we look.
Mr. Vanderkran's
going in.
So I'm just saying compared to their last one, it's better. But you see Crummy trying to chase down Van Loon at the moment. Crummy actually a former commentator of the Vets, ironically, where the Rattler likes to race. And used to actually commentate with our good friend Peter Gretton back before I started commentating the Vets the season before. So nice little tip.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't listening to you then, mate. I was just listening to the race director at the moment, giving the boys. There's been a few of the incidents that we saw. Very close touches were deemed racing incidents. One with netcode, one just a straight out race incident. So, you try to fit two cars in some of these corners. Oh, someone's gone out.
That's Travis Daly.
Travis Daly. He's changed teams.
Yeah, it's MSR.
Yeah, he's changed teams. He's no longer with PSR. He's gone to MSR.
And we saw an incident that happened on Tuesday night between him and former teammate Andrew Cowan. Ironically, coming up to the corner where it did actually happen on Tuesday night as well. Sean McNamara in the chat. Scott Rudd Gardner well in charge. Well, where is Mr. James Scott? Where is he on field at the moment? They are absolutely pacing their way through the field, and it is turning into the James Scott Dylan Rudd show. And even Griffin Gardner as well. So these boys are absolutely sending it through the field right now. All of them up nearly, well, Scott's up 22, Rudd's up 21, Gardner's up 18. These boys are on an absolute fly, and it may not be long until we see Lobb and Jones in their sights and in their scopes, ready to put an attack on. Look at this. Look at the move from Mr. Rudd up the inside. Just makes it look easy.
Yeah, he's quite a capable driver, Mr. Rudd.
That's probably the understatement of the century, I would say. Yeah, new team for them as of, I believe, the start of season 1. They moved over to Ryco.
Robbie's just called something in. He's just been passed by Cameron Jones.
He was passed a couple of laps ago. We did catch it down at Miller. Down on the about at 6 of the way through the broadcast. We'll give a quick update on the 10. Currently sits Jones, Lobb, O'Reilly, Nixon, Whiting. That's the top 5. Kirby, Jones, Safuentes, and Scott, and Delaney is the 10, but Delaney has got Dylan Rudd all over the rear end of that fishy Commodore, and it may not be long until Ruddy gets this done. Delaney cracks under the pressure. Does Ruddy gets past as well as Gardner. That could have just been a smart move there from Delaney. He knows those boys are ultra quick, and I think he was willing just to let them have it.
Yeah, probably a wise move. You see someone that's caught you so quickly across the back in your rear mirror, sometimes it's just better to let them pass and just get on the back of them. If they're on pace and they're going through the field, get on the back of them and follow them. So Tyson was black flag. He got himself drive through for contact with car 123, which is Mr. Tannock. So he must have been the person involved in that spin for Bruce.
So I think I've actually just been told what the team, but their team name is LOB or Lob Esports. So thank you for letting me know of that. Having the fact that I've never actually had to commentate one of James Scott's races before, I was just started calling it the Barker because he's supposed to go after it. But it's good that we actually have a team name associated.
It's actually Sim Riggs DFR.
No, not for James.
So that's what
not for James.
Sim Riggs DFR.
Yeah, that might be his old team because the DFR cars are behind it.
Yeah.
I think he used to race for DFR.
Well, that's what his current registration is. I'm not sure. When we put him on screen, we'll see what his SDK says. He might have changed his SDK.
Yeah, see, he used to race for Synergy, but now he recently moved teams.
Yeah.
Might need Mr. Scott and Mr. Rudd just to update their info as Rudd comes through. Let's just make sure that Dylan Rudd's info is correct. He doesn't even have a team name. Let's go back to the front end though. Cameron Jones under immense pressure right now from Darren Bob and Jacob O'Reilly. And you can see what the gap was just then. We saw Scott and Rudd were coming through the final corner, and these boys weren't even at turn 1 yet. So they are moving at an absolute, just a rocket's pace right now. Last lap time for Scott was a 28.8. Last lap time for Jones was a 29.13. So they're outlapping them quite consistently at the moment as Houghton and Zink into the pits as well. And look at that. That's where Scott is. He's coming through turn 2. P1's only just coming into turn 3. So it won't be very long until we see a nice little battle for the lead between those boys. Probably in the next couple of laps, I would say, if not just after the pit stop period.
Well, we're looking at lap 12 to 13. Maybe with these boys, some might be able to stretch to 14. But the master of fuel saving isn't... just called an incident in. So we'll see what is going on there. The well, that's a new livery. Who's that?
Cam Jones.
Oh, that's Cam Jones. I thought that actually. Sorry, I thought that was a fishy logo. Then I thought, what the hell was that?
Let's quickly check out what's happened with Mr. Daly. He's ended up going off track. I think Andrew Dyson might be involved. So they've come down towards. Oh, and I tell you what, there was. In round 1 of Vets for Split 2, there was an almost identical incident that happened at that exact same spot. It's just a little bit of overlap, but it'll be interesting to see what race control make of that one as we come through to start lap 11 and the 15th minute of this 1 hour race here around Phillip Island. Jonesy leads the way to Lobb and O'Reilly. That's the podium at the moment, but they have got a fast pace. James Scott, Dylan Rudd and Gardner making their way through the field and making their way up to the back of them as well.
Let's give the viewers a bit of a split on how the Pro-Ams are doing, mate, on the timing tower. Get a bit of a separation. It's hard to tell at the moment who's who without tower. So Cifuentes is sitting currently in first place. Andrew Cowan second. Ash Davis in third. Callum Hodgkinson in fourth. Tomlin fifth. And Mr. Crum in sixth. So they're doing well across the back there and putting in some killer times as well.
Yeah, they are. They're not too far off the pace compared to the big boys, but there is a reason why those boys... Oh, a little bit of a blip there, I do apologise. There is a reason why they're classified as Pro-Ams compared to Pros, and it sometimes just comes down to how often they are able to, not make mistakes and how consistent their lap times are, as Chris Miller just gets over the radio as well, so hopefully nothing poor's happened to him.
No, he was just yelling out sorry to someone. Okay. It's interesting because the times... are very, very consistent from the top to bottom. The difference in lap time isn't that great, but it's your consistency, like you said. You've got to be able to hit that time after time after time after time after time. So at the moment you've got Lobby just sitting there behind Cameron Jones with 0.583 of a second, and he's just cruising at the moment. He probably a good time for him just to sit back there and fuel save, but Cameron's really trying to stretch it out a bit and get Lobby to probably push a little bit harder than he has to.
Drive-through penalty for car 041 after contact with car 777. So that will be, I believe, Andrew Dyson. So he will have to come back through the lane for a second drive-through penalty of the race, Steve. Yeah.
Look, it's one of those things. It just happens. We had a few on... I had one as well. I had 4 drive-throughs on Thursday night. 3 of my own accord because I went over points and 1 for which is a noob thing to do.
This is the
it is
pro
what it
split.
is.
Buffu, this is the pro split. This is the pro and
So what
Pro-Am
we
split.
have now is on Tuesday nights we have the Pro-Am and AMs racing, and on a Sunday night we have the Pro and Pro-Ams racing. So what you're seeing tonight is 32 pros versus 18 Pro-Ams in our current split for the series.
That's the way it has now been set up as Jones comes in from the lead of the race into the pit lane. Darren Lobb stays out as he continues on into the lead. So Jones in the pits, as well as James Scott, Griffin Gardner and Dylan Rudd as well. So those real pacey boys coming in. They might jump him in the pits here actually, and if that happens, all hell may break loose after this pit stop period, as well as Scotty Van Loon. He also comes into the lane too, as they try to build a gap.
Yeah, watch Lobby. Let's see how Lobby comes out against Cameron. I had a feeling that Lobby would be able to go the 14 laps.
Yeah, so Lobby's still going as Jones comes out now. So he's coming out probably around about P22 as Callan Hodgkinson comes past him here. It'll be P22. He has actually managed to stay out ahead of Gardner, Rudd, Scott, Van Loon as well. But it's not too far behind. So there's his teammate who actually did jump Dylan Rudd and James Scott in the pits. So this is going to be a very interesting turn of events here throughout the rest of this race, Steve. But here's Lobby's coming up towards MG. So I would not be surprised if he comes in this lap.
Is he going to have enough to go more? He's done well to do 14 laps, mate. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, if he can go one more, he'd only need one more stop to get home. And no, he has to come in as well as O'Reilly.
Oh, he's followed him in as well. O'Reilly's followed him in.
Oh, a bit of a wild ride. Does Nixon follow them? He does. So most of the field comes in.
as well. Kirby. Let's see how this pans out.
James Scott's parked up. James Scott's parked up. That might be race over for him.
Yep, let's see what's going on with Mr. Cameron Jones and where he's on track and where they're going to come out, where they're going to join. This is going to be interesting.
So as he comes through, he's coming up around the final corner now. So he comes around the final corner. Where is Mr. Lobb? This may be it. No, Jones is going to take the lead.
Coming out now. Oh, this is going to be close. He's gone. He's out there.
Yeah, because of the pace advantage down the straight.
It's not that bad.
It's not, but the gap's gained.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. He's got him to 2 seconds, so he's lost a little bit of time on him, but not a hell of a lot. So we're still in for a fight, and at that rate, we're looking at, that was 20 minutes, 14 laps. That pace they're doing is a little bit faster than the night before. So doing 14 laps in 20 minutes. We only got about 12 to 13 in the Tuesday night's race. So it'll be interesting to see at the 40-minute mark. We'll have another 45-minute mark. We'll have another, definitely the 40-minute mark. We'll have another pit strategy as well coming through. And then the key will be, can they stretch this leg out enough to only have one more pit, or they're going to push really hard and have to have a 3-stopper.
So Cam came in lap 12. If we run without a safety car, you'd argue he's probably going to have to come in probably around about the 36-minute mark. So we could actually see a similar situation to what happened with on Tuesday night with Matt Whitaker, because he came in on the same lap and again only made it to the 36-minute mark and needed that stop in the end. So Lobby could actually have the advantage here. He's coming on lap 13. That'll get him to lap.
It'll be out to the lap 28, and he'll be around the 41 minute mark.
Yeah.
And he'll have 19 minutes left, so he should be able to go to the end if he can get it down to the 14 laps for this stint. He'll be able to go after his next fuel, go to the very end. Whereas Cam Jones going to be pushing a bit here or there. This stint is really important for Cam Jones to get a bit of fuel saving done.
Yeah, I apologise if you get me the stats wrong, saying 36. It'll be lap 24 for Jones, we would say, and around about lap 36, 37 for Lobb. So it's going to be tight on fuel once again, Steve, and I think it's really going to show us who is good at, or who is good and who is great at that strategy planning. and where this is actually going to come out in terms of who's going to have the advantage going into the final run. Griffin Gardner has set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 28.16 last time by. Dylan Rudd in behind him did a 28.34. Jones did a 28.6. So he's not actually lapping too much slower than those two boys, but he has got them slowly approaching up onto the back of him.
Yeah, look, your timing tower is telling a story, whereas we've got a few more battles come along. You've got Cifuentes, who's leading the AMs at the moment. A really tight battle there with Jay Davis behind him, and then Van der Kerb. And then you've got Ty Delaney, Doddsy, Horton, Stone Street, Miller. The next AM is all the way down in 19th, so Delaney is looking really good. Sorry, Cifuentes is looking really, really good. He's really tearing it up against the rest of the AMs, and he's keeping it clean and keeping it safe.
Yeah, Pro-Am podium currently looks like Sanfuentes, Van der Kraan, and Crum. That's the top three in that class. Zink just behind Crum though in P4, Cowan a little bit further behind in P5. Current podium for the pros is Jones, Lobb and O'Reilly, with Nixon, Gardner and Rudd slowly trying to make their way in behind the leader. They're not too far away from him, but Gardner and Rudd have definitely got the pace over him at the moment, so it may not be too long till we see him come up on the back of them, as Davis has a big old sort of wiggle on the exit of that corner. Yeah, a bit of a tail there.
Yeah. Mate, we've got an epic battle down the back with Luke Crum, Kyle Zink and Scotty Van Loom and Jason Douglas, mate. They are all over the back of each other. Crummy has got these guys behind him, 0.4, 0.2, 0.2. So the tail is, look how tight that is behind him there. It's very close. That was almost a bit of a rub there, and the guys got around nice and clean. Very respectful racing, which I love about these boys.
Here on board with the Rattler, Scotty Van Loon, P21 at the moment. Got two Pro-Ams ahead of him. These guys not battling for class position, but they are racing for on-track overall position as it stands. Luke Crum took the real wide line, real wide entry into that corner just there as they come down towards MG. The run here, look at them all. They kind of just follow each other nicely through here. They know that you can't really over-attack this corner. You really just need to work hard at trying to stay in behind them, as Chris Tomlin has had an incident here. Crummy's teammate, what's happened to him? So he's come around towards Miller. Has he just locked it and done a bit of a compression lock through the corner? Has he caught the curb? He's caught the curb and just lost the rear end there. So unfortunate for him. Currently rolling around towards the back of the field. But he'll be hoping to try and make up some more ground as the Rattler wants this around the inside of Crum. Crum has now lost out to Zink as well. So Zink now sits P3.
A little bit for Jason then. I thought Jason was going to pump in there under Rattler, because Rattler came out wide to have a bit of a look. And then Jason was thinking about that gap that he could see. So if and Scotty doesn't do this right, Jason will take advantage of that hole that's created by him there. Look at that, 3 wide. Here we go for Jason on the inside. Lobby on the middle, get the sandwich, and Van Leeuwen. Yeah, so what great driving by these guys. Sensational work.
I got to tell you what, I was absolutely clenching then, because I was just waiting to see one of them end up on the grass or turn around. It's not over at all.
Oh, Jason's done an epic effort there. Got himself 2 places up there. Great little bit of driving there by the young lad.
And look at the pressure on the back of Luke Crum, the New Holland entry. He has got an absolute ferocious tiger in Jason Douglas on the rear of him right now. He's trying to make it happen. Crum covers the inside.
He's getting in there.
Oh, the Rattler nearly had it there.
Oh, Ray Douglas will be sitting on the edge of his seat right now. Where are you, Ray? You're usually coming in and joining us. He's sitting there snapping his lead. Go, you good thing.
This is absolutely phenomenal racing from these boys. Crummy gets the best run, though, out of the final corner, and they're going to go at it again. This time with Crummy leading the way. Zink's broken away from him a little bit here. He won't want this because this is now affecting him on his Pro-Am podium as they come through turn number 1. Who's going to get the run here through 2? Looks to be a little bit too far away for anything really poor to happen to make our way round.
Just to recap for the viewers, this is position
the Rattler's gone.
22, 23. Oh, Van Leeuwen's lost it and gone.
He's gone there off the back of that. Let's quickly get a replay up and see here how he's done this. So he's come around the corner. He's just looped it. A bit too much gas.
Yeah, just a little bit too much gas. The car's over-rotated on him. So as I was about to say, viewers, this is how epic this racing is on a Sunday night, on a Tuesday night, Monday. This is what we get every night on every one of our series. The boys all the way down the back in 2021, 22, 23 are still fighting for sheep stations, and every position counts. Now you can see Jason Douglas there putting pressure on Crummy like crazy. He's probably listening in the background and loving every minute. And I'm a bit surprised that Ray Douglas isn't watching. Or maybe he is. He's just too excited to get onto the chat and say hello. But Jason's got himself up into pro this season, so he's got a lot of work to do to get a bit of consistency up into his racing. But he's got a bit of fight in him, and I think he'll do well by the season goes through.
Well, I'll tell you what, Crummy doing the absolute job right now to defend his title as most famous man in the GR86 field. I've done a couple of races with Crummy before. In fact, we did a Spa 24 hour together, and he is no slouch when it comes to driving. He can drive just about anything and keep up pace with just about anyone. He is such a talented operator, and again, if he can get the practice in, he will be a real contender for this Pro-Am Championship, I can almost guarantee you.
Mate, the fighting up the front of the field's going crazy. Gardner, Nixon and Ruddy are all fighting like crazy. Nixon's sitting on 0.2 behind on Gardner, putting the pressure on like you would not believe. And Ruddy's behind him at a 0.4, Michael Whiting 0.6. And these guys have got a sort of 5-car battle pack. And any mistakes that are made is just going to be an open door for the drivers behind them.
See, that's the gap as we come on to the 29th minute of this hour-long race. We're nearly halfway there. We will start lap number 20 for these boys as they cross the line. Gardner in such an intense battle right now with Nixon, Rudd, Whiting a little bit further back. And they're about 4.5 seconds off the back of P3 and Jacob O'Reilly. I see who can get the better run out of turn 2. It looks like it could be Nixon. He wants to get this done. Not quite close enough this time by. Might have to wait for it till the next lap if he wants to get it done down at Miller.
Well, Nixon wants to prove that he's the real thing. Excuse me. He's been getting some special coaching done as well and everything like that, so he's really focused on his V8s. He's come off the back of an epic season in the New Zealand series, and he's come back with us and in the Logitech series, and now he wants to prove that he's a V8 driver.
He's really pushing to try and up his V8 abilities, you know, racing in East Coast last season, moving over to the Pro Qualifying Series on the Wednesday night, and now into the Tuesday Pro-Am and Am races, and also the Sunday night Pro-Am as well. And he's doing well here.
I'm going to do this to you again. Kyle Zig, pressure by Jason Douglas. Jason Douglas is just past Luke Crumb in the back there, and they're going off at the back of that trap pack again. These guys are not leaving any space for anyone.
There is absolutely so much action happening on track at the moment as Joshua Houghton has had a bit of a dropout. He had some little blinking issues Thursday night as well, I noticed in the replay, and he seems to still be struggling with that as well. So we'll have to see if he can try and hold a nice little connection here. Oh, I see a little bit of a slide there from Zink. He's just trying to keep it ahead of him here. Oh, Ray Douglas into the chat. Hi, Steve-O. We just had a weekend of go-karts down south and west of Vic, so I'm getting to know Jason's manoeuvres and he's learning as well. So
he's learning all right, mate. He messaged me. He goes, "You sure I'm going to be a pro this season?" And I said, "Mate, you just need to buckle down, work hard, and you might not get the results this season, but it'll come." He's got the quality. He's got the skill. He just needs a bit of luck and a bit of consistency in his racing. He's got sometimes he tends to go for that move instead of being patient for the next move. He sees it and goes for it. So maybe that's something that he needs to work on, just a bit more patience. But the kid's got some cojones, and he's going to do well this season.
Tell you what, let's go on board with Jace Douglas here till the end of the lap. We'll turn up the volume as well, and you guys can just appreciate what it's like inside the cockpit of the 88 Ford Mustang here for the rest of this lap. We'll be back soon. great there to sit with Jace Douglas over the course of that lap and a half. To come round to start lap 23 for himself, 34 minutes into the 60-minute affair. A couple of people have come into the pits, including Kyle Zink, Joshua Houghton, and James Scott still not back out on track, so I'd say he's been out of proceedings. Harry Dodds has done a second stop, as well as Peter Vanderkraan too. Everyone else above them, though, has done only one stop so far. Let's head up back to the leaders, Steve. Check out how Jones and Lobb are doing it. There's a bit of a gap at the moment, 1.4 seconds between them.
Yeah, the boys are... oh, you look at the timing tower, viewers, and you can see orange, yellow, and a couple of whites. So there's battle packs everywhere. At the moment, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battle packs going through just in the top 25. That's crazy.
Just to answer your question there, Dan, so in Amsterdam it's currently 10:57 a.m. and it's currently 8:57 p.m. here in where we're based in Melbourne. So our sessions open up at 6 p.m. for us. So if you take off 3 hours from 11 a.m., so that'll be 8 a.m. for you. So 8 a.m. is when the sessions open.
Our practice lasts for 2 hours. That's how you can log in and have a bit of fun, a bit of walk in, walk out. Quali starts at 8 p.m. for all series, so that's the important thing.
Yeah. So the quali starts 8 p.m. So that would be what would be 10 a.m. for you. 10 a.m. would be when qualifying starts, and then around about 10:30, just after 10:30 for you, a.m. would be when the race starts.
So the back half of the field have all gone in for their right on the lap 12 mark for their rear. So the boys will, the top end of the pros will be doing probably next lap, and then you'll probably see a couple do it at lap 28. So 2 more laps and then lap 28. Michael Whiting's having a quiet race. He's sitting in the back of that battle pack from Gardner downwards and just biding his time. He will be fuel saving like crazy. So he's a bit of a guru like Mr. Delaney. So he will be able to fuel save and go for Cam Jones is in on lap 25. So he got 13 laps out of his second stint instead of 12 the first stint. Rudd's in there with him as well.
Jones managed to get the 12 laps in. He came in lap 12. He's then come in at the end of 24. So both his stints have been 12 laps. He will need to pit again before the end of this race, because it is the same as what happened to Matty Whitaker on Tuesday night. Yeah. So currently, Lobb and O'Reilly have the fuel advantage over him. Gardner has stayed out for an extra lap though, which is very interesting. So he came in lap 12 as well, but he's gone a lap more than what Dylan Rudd did. So he can also have the advantage here over Mr. Jones.
Well, Lobb looks like he's got the biggest advantage at the moment, because if he goes 14 laps, he'll be going in at lap 28, and that should take him to the end of the race.
Yeah, I'd say that's yeah, it would be to the end of the race, surely, because it's 3 more laps when he crosses the line. That'll be lap 26. He'll then go 27, 28. Yeah, that's about
under 20 minutes.
4.5 minutes. Oh, he's coming now.
Oh, he's coming.
He's coming now. Oh, interesting. So possibly saving himself the fuel saving at the end. He will have might have a bit of extra fuel in the car. His first stop though was a 19.82. So Gardner's first stop, for example, was at 18.55. So if you actually put a little bit of extra fuel in, they have come in together. So it'll be interesting to see where Jonesy is. He's coming around MG on the inside of Chris Miller. Has this traffic held up?
He's making sure he's not getting held up. He's got through. So he's got blue flags on these guys. And these guys are pitting as well. So here he comes around the outside final corner. Down the main straight.
Lobby there. So Jones is going to get him again. Jones is going to get him again. The pace down the straight is so powerful. If he was only at the final corner, I know, it was so close. If he had only been coming around the final corner 3 seconds earlier, then Lobby would have had him.
Yeah, if that pit lane wasn't right at the end of that massive run, yeah, but still, it's still good. Still good. It's a lot of action out there. He's only 0.7 ahead, so there's a lot of get and go out there. Gerard Safrina's sitting in 6th, so Gerard
He's got himself a podium for the AMs at the moment. His next competitor is sitting in 14th, so Jared's having a cracker of a race. Cowan's sitting in 14th, and Van der Kern in 21st. So the AMs, the Pro-Ams, have split their field up big time. They just need to finish clean to get on the podiums. Tyson McAvoy sitting quietly in 16th. Oh, it's going to hurt him. He's sitting behind Cowan. How's he doing against his other teammates? This is going to hurt Mr. McAvoy.
Well, so interestingly enough, Peter van der Kern has actually done 2 stops in this race, but he came in lap 19, so he will definitely need another stop in this race. I will almost guarantee it. Crummy has done a second stop, as well as Zink, as Sanfuente. Yeah, they're all in. So Riley, Nixon, Whiting,
Kirby,
Delaney stayed out.
Oh, even all the way down. Oh, Riley Jones. Saw Jones there. I thought, what the hell? He's going back in again?
No. Dylan Rudd's actually jumped Griffin Gardner as well.
Ty Delaney stayed out, and he's got himself good track position out there at the moment.
I don't know why it's not liking turn 1 and 2 at the moment. I've fixed my settings. It's just not being very nice.
It's all good. It is. It's light. There's a lot of cars out there, so it's a lot of fun to be had.
Cameron Jones, provisional leader of this race. Darren Lobb, provisional P2. They got title engines up the road. He does need to pit again, though. Does the young fella. Ironically, the 14-year-old came in on lap 14 of this race, so I'd expect him to be coming in this lap or next for that second stop, and he should be able to make it home on fuel. So it'll be very interesting to see if this actually pays off for the young fella, and where he might actually find himself at the end of this race, because we know that he is a talented young bloke, and well, it'll be very interesting to see where this goes for him in the future, just based on his ability at such a young age already.
Oh, mate, he's already doing mega things with Logitech series and stuff like that, and stops. So he's having a great racing experience at the moment. Look, he just needs to keep. The thing's going to be, will he get bored? He's young. Will he get bored? Will he just keep racing? So that's the thing. He's going to get up to the point that school is 14, up at the top ends of year 10 and 12 soon. So school might take a priority for a while. Knowing Dad, he'll want to make sure he gets a good education.
I don't know if you heard that then, but that was a massive clutch into turn 1. He is fuel saving so much right now to get to this extra lap. So if he comes in this lap, he should be able to make it to the end. Just based on fuel. Look at this. He's clutching in so hard as he comes into Miller. So he's going to have, even though these guys are going to be right on the back of him when he comes in, he's not going to need the second, the second stop or third stop that these guys do. Dan is asking how you can see the whole schedule for the 24 season. So Dan, the schedules are in the iRacing season. So we have got 9 rounds for this season. The next 9 weeks we go racing. Or next 8 weeks now, because round 2 is coming up this week. And then at the end of those 9 weeks, we normally have about a 3 to 4 week break, and then we come back for season 2. I'm sure we could get a link for you into the Discord. That'll give you a heap of information on the league and on the series. And that way you can line yourself up for coming in either midway through this season or for next season, as well as Ty comes into the pits for his second stop, and this could be his final stop of the race.
Dan, just go to simracingworld.com.au, register as a driver. That'll get you in the Discord, and you'll find all the information there. Here we go. Let's see. Jonesy and Lobby are sitting out there. Where's young Ty going to come out after all this now? In the top 10?
Here comes Mr. Kirby, his teammate. He's going to get past him. Jamie Davis as well. No worries at all, Dan. We love being able to get the international flavour in here. Dyson's also in the pits. Dodsy's also going to come past. What about Sam Fuentes? Oh, Ty's coming out now. He's going to miss out to Sam Fuentes and Jones and Van der Kran, because he's only just coming out. There goes Van der Kran speeding past. What about Buchanan? Not quite close enough. Delaney comes out 14th. 2 spots up from where he started the race. And he is 3 spots up in the class as well. He's up to P12 in class. Doing an absolutely phenomenal job. But he has got the fuel advantage over the rest of the field.
Mate, one thing that I have noticed is that the Fishy boys are not having a good night.
Well, I don't know if I'd say they're not having a good night.
Oh, no, I'm going to be correct that. They're having a good night, but they're not dominating what they normally do. End of last season, we had top 5 Fishy boys. Tonight, we've got Michael Whiting leading the Fishy boys out in 7th, Kirby 8th. Going down, time 14. Keep going down. Miller's having an off night in 21st. He's usually up there in the top 5 to 10. And the last one is Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman sitting in 27, so he's having a real off night tonight.
Yeah, I think maybe the track just doesn't suit him too much. I mean, Coleman did say he was off the pace in practice, which is why he started from the back.
This is one of his less favourite tracks, if I'm not wrong. So, you know what, it's a long season too, so you don't need to put all your cookies in the first race.
Might just end up being his drop round for the season, I would think, but as you mentioned, Michael Whiting, P7 at the moment. There's got a fair bit of air around him out at the moment there out on track. The gaps have really started to stretch in that top 10. Got no real orange gaps within the 10. Just outside the 10, though, we have got Jones and San Fuentes battling it out for P11 at this stage. San Fuentes not under pressure, though, from Jones for the last position. Though Van der Kran's not too far behind, but as I mentioned, he will need to pit again. But Delaney on the back of him too, so he's putting big old pressure on the Angry Birds driver in Peter Van der Kran. I wonder if we'll ever see Matt, his brother, coming in here and racing with him and get 2 of the Angry Birds cars out on track. It'll be interesting to see, or even any of their other members as well. He's bringing it.
Say his name. Go on, say his name.
Rick Viger.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, he's on Tuesdays.
Look at this. Look how close this is.
He's done well. He's done well to stick it with him, you know.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid.
I can't believe he's turning 15 this year.
I know.
He's very, very impressive as a young fella. I actually call him a young man because he's got he's far beyond his years. Oh, he's taken on the inside.
Look at that.
He's had a snip. He's had the door open for him. He's taken full advantage of it and got it. Well done, fella. Now he's going to have Vanderkam fighting back to this next park. He's got the drift on the back, drag on the back of him. Oh, he's not letting him have a bit of a sniff at all and taking it nicely on the inside. Well done there. He's taking full control, taking the inside apex to make sure that he doesn't get taken again. Now the next corner is going to be under brakes. This is going to be critical. If he can get past this section clean and away, then he's home and hosed.
That's the gap out the back of Delaney's car. This is what he'll be seeing in his mirrors at the moment. Look at that, though. Buchanan going to make his... That's Will Buchanan. He's going to make his job a little bit easier because he's going to get it down the inside of Van der Kran now.
Done a great little job there on Van der Kran.
I'll tell you what, in the span of only about half a lap, Van der Kran's dropped 2 spots. He is up 15 from where he started. But, you know, it's, all of a sudden... It's gone from bad to worse for him here in terms of dropping positions.
You know what? You say that, but it isn't really. He's not racing these guys. His next opponent is Ash Davis in 18th. So it's probably not a bad thing. Keep it clean, keep it smooth, save fuel, make sure you finish. Because at the moment he's in a podium position with just over 10 minutes left in the race.
Yeah, but he also does need that oh so important third stop of the race, so the strategy may not be in his hands right now, although he may be fuel saving a little bit. Well, as I mentioned, the man with the biggest advantage right now is Ty Delaney. He's 39 seconds off the back of the leader. Pit lane travel time on average has been about 45 seconds, so he could be in here for an incredible performance if this works out for him, and it's big risk but big reward if it pays off.
Let's see how it goes. It's going to be critical to see if these top 3 boys can stay out all the way to the end.
So Jones will lead Lobb and O'Reilly around the final couple of corners. They will start. They're coming in. Jones is in. So as predicted, Cameron Jones needs another stop. What about Darren Lobb? He's got a bit of a question mark over him. He came in on lap 25. did one less lap than we predicted on that second stint. Michael Whiting's also come in. Could he be in trouble?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be actually interesting where Ty comes out compared to these boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Kirby stayed out. So Kirby's gone the opposite to Whiting. Whiting goes in, I'll stay out. Cameron Jones is in. He's coming out.
So he's just come out, so he's actually managed to stay out ahead of Delaney. So Jones has actually managed to stay out ahead of Delaney. So I think the pace that he had over Delaney's actually done him a benefit here. Michael Whiting's just coming out, but he'll lose out to the young fellow as well. But this could be a top 5 for Delaney. I mean, quite possibly.
Yeah. It's all going to be down, so like I predicted at the beginning of the race, it's going to be all down to pits and see who does what, and who pushes too hard or who doesn't push at all.
So Lobb now leads O'Reilly and Rudd. As I mentioned, the question mark is over Darren Lobb's head. Dylan Rudd came in on lap 24. The question mark's over his head as well. Who will have the advantage? Will they need to pit again, or can they fuel save to get the car home?
Mate, I'm looking at some of the names right in the bottom part of this tower. And tell you what, this is no longer a series where you can't where you can afford to practice and just come in and hope you have a good night. You're going to need to practice to compete with the guys that are on this track tonight, because the names and the guys that are pacing they're putting together is ridiculous. O'Reilly's putting in some real pressure here on Lobby, but Lobby's a wise old cat. He picks his line, stays in the centre where he needs to, hits his apex where he needs to. Rudd's moving in across the back of these guys. Before too long, he's going to be back under a second under O'Reilly.
With this O'Reilly down the inside of Lobb. Can he get it done? Looks like he got a good run out of there, and all of a sudden the Vermilion Motorsports driver leads the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series. Here at round number 1 for Phillip Island.
That was a bit too easy, mate. That was a bit too easy. Is Lobb going to come into the pits next? I think he might be, mate, because that's a lot of pace he's lost straight out of there.
I was going to say a bit of information about Mr. Lobb. Former Motorsport South Africa, like their head of motorsport, former steward for them as a bit of a race controller and stuff like that. So he's got some experience in knowing the rules and implementing the rules, and he uses that to his advantage on the track. He's actually stayed out, as well as has Rudd too. So he's now done 20 laps. 10 laps on this current stint. So Jones actually came in really, really early.
Well, we know he can do 14. We know he can do 14, so not just a matter of that. He's fuel saving, man. He just wants to finish this at the moment by the look of it and not go back in the pits.
Yeah, he definitely is. See if we can hit clutch in at Miller. So we saw Delaney do it before he came into the pits. Yeah, that's clutch in. That's massive fuel saving.
Oh, he's fuel saving like crazy. All right, so as we predicted, he's going to. Well, the boys in front of them don't need to pit anymore, do they? When did Ruddy and O'Reilly pit last?
So O'Reilly pit lap 26, Ruddy pit lap 24. So he pit on the same lap as Jones. Now whether he is fuel saving or
may
not,
need to pit still.
Yeah, that's the question mark. You know, Ruddy came in the same lap as Jones. Jones had to pit. Whether Ruddy is fuel saving, which doesn't really look like he is, that's really going to be the determining factor on if Dylan Rudd gets onto the podium or not. So we'll have to wait and see what the plan is here from him. Now, obviously his teammate out of the race already. He stays out for another lap. So does Lobb. What about Gardner? Where does he do? He stays out as well. What about Nixon? He also stays out. So Kirby, who is in behind these guys, he may not need a pit. He came in lap 26. Cameron Jones obviously has done the third stop, and he's moving at an absolute rapid pace right now, trying to come up onto the back of these guys and put pressure on the front.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We know Lobby's a good fuel saver, so strategy, he'll be on top of that. Even though he's very lackadaisical with his strategies, He would have planned his strategy like literally as he was in the grid. He's a bit like that, but the rest of these boys are a little bit more strategic, and I haven't seen O'Reilly and Rudd race for a while, so look at this little pass here on the inside. What a great move there. Oh, that was on a back marker.
Yeah.
No wonder it was a great move.
Yeah, it was under blue flag conditions on Luke Crum there.
Oh,
but
Steve.
Yeah.
We've got the back boys are pitting now again, so Jones, Buchanan and Jason Douglas. They're going through the pits at the moment. So we'll see what's going there. They're going to need a splash and dash because it's pretty much down to the last few laps. Where's Ty sitting? Ty's sitting in 11th, so he's behind Whiting, right on the back of Whiting, actually. Cifuentes has got himself the M podium sewn up. His next contender is Andrew Cowan, 15th. Andrew will be happy with that. He's got him to the podium, which is really important for him for a title fight. And Buchanan, Van der Kraan and Davis following them through after that.
Van der Kraan has a little bit of a gap though over Davis, so not too much pressure for old Pete at the moment. But I thought there was something happening in the background there, but it was Douglas going for the move.
Mate.
No, it was Douglas going for the move over Davis there. I thought there might have been contact. They kind of just came straight across my screen, but these guys battling it out for on-track position at the moment, but not for class position. Next car behind Davis is Kyle Zink, who is trying to chase him down for P4 in class at this stage. She got the leader, Jacob O'Reilly. He's coming up through Siberia, up towards Hayshed, and then into MG. See here what happens if Ruddy and him need to come in.
4 minutes to go, as in track time. There'll probably be an extra lap on that, which is probably another minute on top, so we'll probably get into the 5 minutes in a bit. But still looking good. Jacob O'Reilly still looking out there. Ruddy's out there, Lob's behind them, just drifting along.
O'Reilly's in.
O'Reilly's in. Here we go.
And Lob's gotten past Rudd. Rudd's gone off. Ruddy's gone off,
or has he run out of petrol?
He went off then. That was off track. Let me see if I can find it. What has happened to Dylan Rudd?
Pit entry. I think he's run out of fuel in pit entry.
Let's look at this. So he's come through MG. Tried to come up here. Has he just gassed it up too much? Oh, look at that. He's off the track.
He's out of fuel.
That's out of fuel.
He's out of fuel.
He went that little bit too long.
He hasn't made... Oh, no. He hasn't made it back. Is he towed?
He's coming through the entry. But this could be... This will be race done. This will be race done.
Yeah, that's race done for him.
That is race done for him. Too long.
Yeah, one too long. So Gardner was alright. He's gone. He's still out. He hasn't pitted. Who was the one that was in front of him? That was
So there's Lob. Lob leads the way at the moment. O'Reilly's been in, but he's come out behind Cameron Jones. So Jones is now ahead of him. Could be provisional race leader, but we don't quite know based on the fuel numbers. Lob and Gardner came in a lap later than what Rudd did. And this could be worrying for them, because if he's gone a lap too long and has run out of fuel, is the next lap one too long for them?
Yeah, but Rudd was pushing real hard to pass Lobby, and Lobby just let them go, mate, because he knew he didn't have to fight for it. We know that Lobby can do 14 laps in this tank. He did it in the first stint, so if he can do that, he should be right. I'd say that's why he let those guys past him in the initial part of it all. But interesting to see Gardner and Nixon. Jones has got himself back up to 4th. Dave Kirby got himself up to 5th, which is really cool. So the boys have moved up slowly.
So
he's in a very quiet... Fishy boys have had a quiet but consistent race.
They have. I mean, they got 3 cars in the top 10 at the moment and 1 just outside the 10. We've got just under a minute and a half to go, so we'd say probably 1 more lap after this one.
Yeah.
And the question there, that's big clutch in from Lob. You could even hear it from the outside camera.
It did just pretty much.
You heard it was full noise. It was full noise, and then just cut out. Like it was just nothing.
Sounds like a Volkswagen. That traffic lights just turned off. Is he driving on a hybrid right now?
Lobby's practicing for prototype racing. He's got hybrid on that car.
He's on camel juice right now.
That just shows. But let's see what Nixon's doing behind him. Nixon's 3 seconds behind him. Is it 3?
No, it is 9.5 seconds.
What was Nixon's last pit at?
Lap 26, so he actually has a lap advantage over Lob.
Yeah, so Nixon can still push, whereas Lob can't. Lob's just going to make it. So this is Lobby coming around the corner for the, I'd say he'd have to do one more lap after this one.
Should be the final lap. It should be the final lap next time by. I'd say we're getting white
so this
flag.
should be the white flag. Let's see, Barney's out there waving the flag.
He is, white flag lap.
White flag, so this is it. Let's see what Nixon can do, because Lobby is going to, there's Nixon in the background just coming down the straight as we see. Lobby is going to be pushing to make it across the track, and Nixon is going to be sniffing blood in the water here and trying to catch him as much as he can. Jones has got a full tank. He's got as much power as he can go down. He's sitting at 0.2 on the back of Nixon to make sure he gets there. O'Reilly's a fair bit back with 4 seconds, so it's the top 3 at the moment. Anything can happen. Lobby could still run out of fuel as far as we know. And these guys are hammering it.
And Nixon's already gained like 3 seconds on Lob, so he is really on fumes right now. He's on fumes right now, but there's Nixon. And
look at these two. Making sure Nixon's taking that car. He's got the elbows right out. Grandpa Gowns will be proud of that move. Elbows out Nixon, we have to call him. Done well to keep Jonesy out of the track. But we've got the boys. They're still 6 seconds behind Lobby. And Lob is coming now to the... Where is he? Oh, he's coming down the dip. Yep, coming dip. Couple more corners to go. Oh, what's his speed? I say, how fast is he going?
Let's have a look. Hang on.
He doesn't look like he's doing any major pace at all.
He is feathering that throttle like it is nothing.
Oh,
Full
here we go.
clutch.
So ladies and gentlemen, this is Darren Lobb for our Warren and Brown V8 Supercars Pro-Am Pro Series, the first pro driver across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Darren Lobb is our race winner for race 1 of 2024. Oh, and Nixon and Jones just crossed behind him on the track. That was damn close behind there for a top 3 finish. They almost pipped him on the line there, mate.
Andrew Cowan has taken the lead of the Pro-Am class as well. So Safuentes needed another pit stop, and it's cost him the class win here tonight. So Cowie, who had a bit of a disappointing Tuesday night this past week, will consolidate that with a victory here tonight. P12 overall, but it's P1 for the Pro-Am driver from Performance Sim Racing as he crosses the line. Sanfuentes a bit further back down the road, got Bruce Tannick all over the back of him as he comes around the final corner. He will cross the line and will take P2 here tonight. And it's Ash Davis who's a bit further back. He's on the run for P3. A bit further up the road than what Zink and Vanderkraan is, so he will cross the line as well. And that is our Pro-Am podium for this evening.
Well, mate, that was some epic racing, and that took it all the way down to the line. I don't know, can you run the replay and see how far back Nixon and Jones were as Lobb was crossing that finish line? Because that looked like it was damn close in the end.
So if I do this...
That were flying down behind him.
So this is the back of Lobb's car when he's coming down the straight. Look at them there. You can see them coming around the final corner. He's clutching back on the power now. Look at how quickly they are approaching the back of him. He's clutching as he crosses the line.
That was just the line there, so it wasn't that much at all. That was crazy, but that's some great driving there by Lobby. Well, we knew he had 14 laps in him, and he did it. And I wonder how much he has left in the tank. Well, is he going to get around to the start-finish line to do his podium snaps?
I don't think so. He's coming in the lane.
Oh no, he's
just remembered.
He's listened to us. He's just remembered. Oh, I've got to do photos. That's a classic. Well done, Lobby.
Wow, what a race. No safety cars this time by. I was hesitant to say 2, but I thought, benefit of the doubt, maybe we'd see something crazy, but we saw something crazy happen with the strategy play. Actually, Connor Nixon's forgotten to come onto the grid for his photo as well.
Yeah.
But what a race! What a race from the top to bottom. You know, some epic battles at the back with Crummy and Douglas. You know, down the front. You know, it was strategy. You know, it was. You know, always something going on. Ty Delaney ended up getting 8th. Good on Ty. Did really well with his strategies. So the Fishy boys actually did okay. 5th, 6th, and 8th.
And 11th for Chris Miller as well. So
yeah.
Nearly had all four of their cars in the top 10 with David Coleman back in P15 as well.
Yeah, so they did well. The strategies worked well. Ty's strategy was spot on. And in the AMs, we've got Andrew Cowan, Jaron Cifuentes. Andrew Cowan, Jaron Cifuentes, Ash Davis, Kyle Zing, Peter Vanderkamp, Crummy, Daly, Tomlin, Hodgkinson. So, Hodgkinson 14 laps down. He must have had a bit of an issue at some point. Good old Crummy is doing the burnout. I don't reckon he's got enough. Oh, yeah, he is. He's got a bit left in him.
So there are
Dodgy and
finishes for
where Dodgy? The boys are giving Tyson a bit of stick. Well done, lads. Well done. Cowan's there as the champion of the round for the AMs. Well done, Tice. Sorry, well done,
Cowie.
Cowie, yeah. So who was third in the end? It was Cameron Jones was third.
Cameron Jones who was third.
Yeah, we've only got Connor Nixon sitting in the room, so we might as well drag Connor in and have a bit of a chin wag, and hopefully the other boys will pop in. They're not too shy.
Yeah, we'll get Connor on the screen.
Mr. Nixon, how you doing, mate?
Oh, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I enjoyed the race, man. It was some epic fighting out there, and the strategy on top of strategy on top of strategy. How many litres did you have left?
When I crossed the line, I had I think a litre and a half, and from from last Logie race, I crossed over the line with a litre. So I said to the boys, all I need is a litre. So I was just clutching in the whole way, and Griffin Gardner in front of me. He pitted a lap early, so I knew he was on the total fuel save, and just saw Griffin get really nice and slow, and I thought, nah, just send it up the inside, get around him, and see what happens from there. And then old Cam gave me a good run from the money at the end there.
Did you realise how far down Lobby was on fuel?
Nah, not a clue, man.
Mate, you guys were catching him. In the end, it was only about 10 car lengths. if it was a bit longer straight and the finish line was a bit further down, you guys would have pipped him. But it was a great watching out there, great fun. So enjoy it, mate.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I said to the guys that I didn't like the short fuel though. It was good, but the 3 stops is very. It was good. I guess with the 3 stops of 40 litres, it is good in the end. But at the start, I was I don't know if this could be a good race or not. But it turned
came down to strategy. Then it came down to strategy, and who's got the cojones to save much fuel. And that's what we want to see. That's what we're aiming for this season. It's going to be on the edge there if you're a smart driver. And you save that fuel, you're gonna be. It's gonna be sometimes you're in your favour, sometimes not. But that was a lot of fun to watch as a spectator. I think it added to the action tonight. Now, you still getting some private training going?
Bits and pieces. Been bashing around with old James Scott, so that's why he's in here tonight. Because I said, we were in a practice session, and I said, "What are you doing tonight?" He said, "Oh, not much." And I went, "Oh, got SRW tonight, so you can come join." And he went, "Yeah, come join." So,
I'm saying to Hamish that we seem to be getting a lot of the Logitech drivers coming in and having a spin at SRW. I guess it's good practice against the drivers that you're competing with for the Logitech. Get to know their nuances and stuff like that. So, I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, it's just there's a race on Sunday. Might as well come do it. Scott's not on, so. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Well, hopefully your consistency will come out and shine this season. You'll be fighting for a title in this season. Who you got to thank and tap on the shoulder with and all that sort of stuff?
I just want to say thanks to Vermilion Motorsports. They help out a lot. And from sponsors side, it's a bit of a list. I hope I remember them all. I'll probably miss two. So Hymo Setups, they're brand new onto the car. They're new to the game and they're on our car. So Hymo Setups, they're sponsoring us. Moser Racing, Race Labs IRP, Burnley Motor Group, Curtis Bird, he does all the deliveries. He actually spots me for every Logitech round in most rounds these days. So thanks to Curdy. Let me just think. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much covered there. Race Labs. I think did I mention that? I probably didn't, but yeah, Race Labs as well. So.
Excellent, mate. I've got a yelling kid at me at the moment. Hang on.
It's all right, Steve. I'll take this one. Connie
He's
did
gone
it.
to his daddy, his mummy.
Connie did an incredible job tonight, mate. Congratulations on P2. Best of luck next time out for round number 2, and hopefully you can back it up.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too, mate.
Excellent, mate. Well, who are we going to bring in now? We seem to have a room of people that I don't even finished in the top 3, but
we got the Pro-Ams of Sanfuentes and Cowie. So we could bring both of them in and have a chat to them at the same time, since they are the amateurs, the Pro-Ams.
Yeah, let's go do it. Mr. Sanfuentes, Mr. Cowan, how are we doing?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Well, you guys had a bit of fun out there tonight.
Yeah, Jerry went a bit too hard, and I saved in that middle stint. Remember, I told you earlier in the week, Steve, we'd go an extra lap.
Yep.
From Tuesday, so we did 13 on Tuesday. We're going to do 40 tonight. But knew I had to do a 14 in there somewhere, and I told Jerry, and he thought he was going to get there, and he couldn't get it.
So 8th to 16th. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing there at the end.
One question I've got for you two: who's going to speak to Tyson first? Because he's not going to be a happy man.
Well, I think, as the boss of race control, he might have a question for race control. Didn't he get black flagged? Nah, no. I think he's fine with it.
He's probably already in there.
You know what he's going to get from me? Put in a ticket, son.
Yeah, that's it. No, look, he wanted to finish in front of us, of course, but that sort of scuppered his race. So from then he was, happy to help and stay close. He didn't want me to let anyone through, so that's what he kept telling me.
Well, you guys did an epic race out there. I was watching you, Cowie, because I know that you wanted to change the strategy a little bit more tonight, and you're staying a bit cleaner, and you weren't involved in the incidents that you were last season. So it was good to see you coming out the other end a bit cleaner.
Bit pinball at the start there, man. I got buffeted around by the boys.
Yep.
Because I got a really good start, got up to like 12th, and then suddenly had all these quick guys behind me for the next few laps.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's all part of the big grid like that. You just got to hope that things go the right way, and tonight they did.
That's it.
Yeah, excellent.
Unfortunately, Jerry couldn't get that extra lap because it would have been, the other way around. But I'll take it.
You got to take it when you can, mate, because you got to be there to take advantage of the situation when you can.
Well, maybe they didn't believe me that you had to. It's a pretty good save to get that extra lap.
I did save enough, but
yeah. Well, Lobby was doing 14 laps per tank, so he did really well, and that's what won him in the end.
Even to do that, you're rolling out 10 or 20 metres before the Southern Loop and before Dunlop and, and before you go over Lukey Heights, you got to roll out early to hit those numbers. Otherwise, you can't get it.
Well, watch it back, and you'll see how fast Cameron Jones and Connor Nixon passed him before they had to pit, and he was just cruising through. He let him go, and he thought, that's it, I'm staying still on my strategy, and he took it. So it was a spectacular race. Look, who do you guys got to thank, and who supports PSR?
Want me to read them out, Jerry?
You can do it, Cammy. All good.
All right. So, big thanks to West End Motor Group, Parramatta Isuzu, Too Easy Finance, of course. Harvey Norman that Tyson brought on board. Awesome to have them on board. Also, Track Racer. Got my own music business, cowiemusic.com. For our paints, it's Night Rider Designs, doing an awesome job. And, of course, our big promo for hashtag Talk to Me Bro. If you're out there, guys, and you need to talk to someone, man, contact them. Give a mate a call. That's all you need to do.
Excellent, mate. All right, congratulations, guys, and good luck for the rest of the season. Hope to see you guys out there having some more podiums.
Thanks, boys.
Sure. Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, lads. All right, Mr. Nixon. Mr. Munro. We've got Mr. Lobb left. Looks like Connor.
Cameron
Cam
has,
Jones
has
had to
left
go.
us. He's
Yeah,
left
which
us.
is a shame. He probably didn't realise we are going to bring him in. But let's bring in Mr. Lobb and had a bit of a chinwag. Mr. Lobb, how are you, buddy?
Gentlemen, how are you going? It was good fun, a bit nerve-wracking towards the end, but we got there
Mate.
kicking and spluttering.
Well, I picked you for the win tonight.
Oh, good man. I
I
could put some
picked you
money
for the
down
win
and
tonight. And
put some money down and share it with me, eh?
yeah. Well, I kind of strategy was going to be a big part of tonight, and I knew you're good at fuel saving, and I know that you wouldn't have planned this race in advance. You would have gone on the grid and go, right, I got a fuel save tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly as it happened. That's why I jumped in so late, because I was sitting there with the iPhone open. I did mean to do it earlier. I did mean to do it in warm-up, but my phone went flat and I didn't feel like using a computer calculator. So I managed to jump onto the grid with about 20 seconds to go, knowing exactly what I had to do, which was go as hard as I can and hope like hell I can save in the last stint.
Yeah. Well, when the boys passed you down, I think it was about 5 or 6 laps to go. I thought he's already fuel saving. He doesn't give a rat's ass that these guys are passing him at the moment. He's hoping that they're not going to make it. And Dylan Rudd, he spluttered. He barely made it to the pit to get back. And then the run at the end with Cam and Nixon, they nearly got you, mate. They was probably only about 10 car lengths when you crossed the line, I reckon.
Yeah, but the nice thing with that is I could kind of just watch the gaps to them the whole way. So you know, with Cam getting out ahead, and I saw he was trying to save, but I knew what I had to save, and there's just no ways he was going to do an extra lap saving on me. I mean, I was already, I think I needed to save 5 just to make the checkered flag, let alone to make the slowdown lap. And he was a lap shy of that, so I knew there was just no ways in hell he could make it. I was pretty certain Dylan couldn't make it as well, because I think he had come off the back of the grid, so I was kind of assuming we'd been running a really good pace up front until then. So I just sat watching the gap back to Griffin and Connor behind me, and even when I was saving heaps, the gap stayed at like 6.5, 7.5, 8.5 seconds. So I knew we were all on the same strat, and I basically had 7 seconds on all of them. And then slowly, one by one, they started dropping off, and I just needed to get to that last lap, and yeah, if I needed to, I would have crossed the line side by side with them with a nose ahead. But yeah, it did the trick.
That's what we were hoping
off all the way.
We were hoping for that spectacular, crossing of the line, your car spluttering, and the car's just crossing behind you.
Man, I tell you, it was a last-second read of the rule book in qualifying. We had a quick chat in Discord, and none of us could remember what the rule is with the last lap, whether you have to make it back into the pits or not. Because a bunch of us run vets, and you don't have to make it back into the pits anymore, so you don't have to worry about that extra one lap. I was sucking fumes just to make the checkered flag, let alone the last lap. Luckily, it's not too difficult a lap to freewheel down to the end. I made it, I don't know, 700 mil, I think, is what I used on the last lap. So that's pretty good going.
Well, we enjoyed it, mate. We loved it. It was action packed from the top of the grid to the back of the grid, and you guys put on an epic show as usual, mate. Good to have you back for season 1 of 2024. Congratulations on the first podium for round 1. Who have you got to thank for the support of Mr. Darren Lobb?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Big thanks to my team, DPR Racing, my local sponsor here in New Zealand, Men on Racing Products. And then obviously just, Ryan, Darcy and Bruce jumped into Discord tonight. We all had a good time. We missed Chris. He'll hopefully be back next week. And then, yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on a good stream. I'll go back and watch it tomorrow, and look forward to the rest of the season.
Oh, excellent, mate. Good to have you back, and good to have you take the first one out for the series. Good luck for the rest of the season, and I'll say the rest of the year. And I hope the ankle biters aren't driving you crazy like mine.
No, they're keeping me on my toes, but luckily they're in bed long before sim racing starts at night. So you just get really tired. But other than that, they're all good, all healthy. Glad yours are too.
Mate.
Catch you guys later. Look forward to it, guys.
Yeah, mate. All the best. Take care of yourself.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Well, Hamish,
it's happened again, Steve.
Epic night of racing.
It is. It was, and it's happened again. After we got our interviews all done, and then the overlays decided, oh, your show's finished now. We don't need to show up anymore. So I would normally have our race info up for everyone to chat about, the track we've just been at and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it's decided to not play ball once again. But that is okay. Just give an update on the.
I wouldn't have even known, mate.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, of course, we have got a big week of racing coming up, Steve. First round of the Motorsport Australia Formula Vs coming up tomorrow night out at Okayama. Going to be a massive night of racing for those guys. A short, sharp sprint for them. Tuesday night, we come back for the Supercars Pro-Am and Amateurs for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Series. Round 2 out at Mosport, which we talked about a little bit last Tuesday night. Coming up for the Formula 3s this week, we got Zolder for round number 2 of the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. The GR86s, which we saw an epic battle here this afternoon for those guys. They'll be back Thursday night for Barcelona. Historic layout for round number 2. The IMSA Shadow Series heads out to Hockenheim this week for round number 2, and then we'll be back here Sunday night once again for this wonderful Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series out at Mosport for round 2. And then, yeah, back to Formula Vs once again come next Monday. So massive week of racing coming up. It was a massive night of racing as well. Great race to call, great race to see. Great to see those fuel strategies come into play and see how they all, kind of lined up amongst each other. But yeah, it's going to be a massive season ahead by what we've already seen in the 1 week that we've had of racing for SRW.
Yeah, mate, it's been spectacular. On the edge stuff. Loved it. Loved every minute of this week. I've been waiting for like as soon as the season finished, I've been hanging for this to start. So there's still some spots left in the 86s. I think there's 4 spots left there, and there's also plenty of spots left in the Formula V. So if you're watching, jump into the Formula V. It's going to be a lot of fun to race those little things around tracks and have a bit of fun with the other lads in the series. Please thank all our sponsors: Warren & Brown Tools, Grimm Industries, Shannon's Insurance, Promo Department, Neuropower, Shunts. Have I missed anyone else, mate?
DSL Welding.
DSL Railway Services. Thank you all for being on board, and thank you to the viewers. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for sitting in the chat room and having a bit of fun with us and a bit of laugh. It's always a pleasure, and it adds to the fun that we have talking to you people. And we've also got a new driver from Dan Ferron joining us out of Netherlands. He's going to have a crack at some racing in the V8s or whatever he's picked. So thank you to all the viewers. Thank you to Hamish, and tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Quality starts for the Formula Vs with our new producer JP and Andrew Cowan, the not so average racer. And thank you to all. Thank you, Hamish.
Thank you very much, Steve. Really appreciate you coming in here with me tonight, mate. As I mentioned, massive night of racing. I thank all the viewers for supporting us on this series and all the series that we race in. Appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to join us here on Sim Racing World TV. As Steve mentioned, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon as well, so you are notified anytime we go racing across all 6 nights of racing that we offer here on SRW TV. Be sure to also hit the like button. Get into the live chat if you're watching the live stream. And if you're watching the live stream after it's done and it's up as a regular video, get into the comments section. Let us know what you think of the series. Let us know what you think of everything that we're producing here on Sim Racing World TV. Any engagement and any feedback we get helps us grow the series and helps us grow the league for the benefit of not only the viewer but the drivers as well. So we thank you all for your time. This has been the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series, round number 1 out at Phillip Island. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. I've been Hamish Munro. This has been Steve Sinkovic. Steve, send him home.
Drive hard and stay safe, viewers.